Hello everyone. So now, as many of you know, I had my first amateur MMA fight a couple of weeks ago. I'm sorry I didn't upload the aftermath video soon enough. First of all, I had to recover after the fight, but also I was leaving this. I was on my way to leave the States, traveling in a few different states. My brother was here, and I had to say a lot of goodbyes. So a lot of things to wrap up. But finally, I had a chance to sit down and talk to you about the in-depth details about my fight, where there's a lot of things to share. So what happened in the fight, what happened before the fight, post-fight, and obviously a few of details of what's happening next. Now, first of all, if you've seen the fight, you already know, but let me still say that officially I lost. Now, interesting enough, it became a controversial subject because, first of all, it was a split decision, and the first referee gave me more points, the second and third gave me less. Honestly, I am not upset about losing whatsoever. I mean, I don't feel like, oh my goodness, I was robbed, it shouldn't be something different. And I'll explain why. There's a lot of reasons why I think it's a fair thing I lost. Now that became a controversial subject because a lot of people, it's a tremendous amount of people in the comments, and some even like qualified people, a lot of my coaches, just an endless list of people told me that actually I won. But still, I think a split decision is a split decision. And honestly, I went into the cage expecting to do. A lot of people said I did good, but I expected to do even better. And I think that was one of my downfalls. That was one of my mistakes because I was intending to win fast. I was intending to win in the first round, and maybe that's why I pushed myself too quick, too much. And the guy had a really strong chin. I mean, I had a lot of respect for my opponent. We really had a good fight, a lot of back and forth, and there were definitely moments where I almost knocked him out in the first round, but I didn't, and he kept going through, and I saw he was exhausted as much as I was exhausted, and I'll tell more reasons about why that happened. But still, we were both exhausted, and he was still pushing it. He was still getting me back for the punches I gave him. So he definitely, from that regard, I feel he definitely reserves the win for that because he went through the fight. He stood up and he did not give up. And yeah, I think that's already. I think he deserves the win just for that. And yet again, a split decision is a split decision. If I would have won, by no doubt whatsoever, I mean, like a TKO or a submission or whatever, a knockout, then there would be no question. And a split decision is a split decision, and it is what it is. But what I do want to say is that having that tremendous support from you guys actually made a big difference in me. It just meant so much to me. One thing that a lot of people don't know is that most likely during the fight, I got altitude sickness. A lot of people eventually consider that probably was altitude sickness. First of all, I come from very low lands in Lithuania. From where I come from, there are zero mountains. It's a very low land again. So I'm not used to altitude. And the altitude in Montana, where I was fighting, it's 3,000 feet. So I think it's like 1.5 kilometers. So it's not too bad. But the thing is, I was exerting myself so much. I was giving it my all. I did not stop at the third round. I was already exhausted, but I was still just pushing myself. And that might have clicked into the altitude sickness. And also another thing, my nose was completely, there was a lot of blood in my nose and it dried up. So I was swallowing a lot of blood and potentially I got sick because of that. So during the round 3, normally my cardio was way better, so my coaches were surprised that I'm dead by round 3, and I that's my first fight, so I did not know what's happening, if that's natural, if that's normal or not. But at round 3, I was completely gassed out, and also my head was dizzy. The lights were super bright, and I just was not feeling right, and I thought. Initially, I thought during the fight, I thought maybe that's because I got punched in the head quite a few times. The guy got me good, my opponent got me good quite a few times. And I thought maybe I feel that way just because of the punches in the head. I don't know what it feels like to get punched continuously in the head. It's my first time. But turns out probably was, as I said, altitude sickness, swallowing too much blood, maybe too much exertion. Because at the end of the fight, my brother was there, was watching the fight, and one of my coaches had to carry me back. And I was just like really feeling bad. I was completely nauseous. I was hugging the trash bin for like 30 minutes. I could not stand up. Again, the lights were super bright. I was dizzy. I started vomiting, and I just didn't know what's happening. I thought maybe it's normal. Maybe it's, maybe it is what it is. And obviously there was a chance that it might have been a concussion, but it turns out it definitely wasn't because I completely had my memory. I remember the fight very well. I did not start speaking slower, or there's a lot of bullet points which did not click with concussion. So it seems like it was probably altitude sickness, which is too bad. I mean, I would have done even better if I didn't have that. But again, it is what it is. I can't change that, and I shouldn't want to. It was a great experience, but just feeling so bad, feeling so nauseous. I was really sick. I was really feeling really bad. And just hugging that trash bin, vomiting, and just knowing that I just lost. For a moment, I thought, well, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm not built for this. And maybe that's a sign that that it's just not my path. And then a few minutes later, I stopped and myself in my mind as I was just like having this inner dialogue. And I thought, well, no, it's a journey, and this journey is not just about me. For me, this journey is not about me. For me, this journey is about having a positive influence upon other people, of sharing a path which hopefully inspires and again has a positive influence to other people. That means a lot to me. That's very important for me. And I thought, it's already awesome that I did my first fight, but still I lost, at least officially, and if I would stop right now, it would be cool. I mean, it would be okay. But what message would I be sending to other people? Like, what example would I be setting up if I would stop after I lost? And that right at that moment, I decided, no, I need to continue. I cannot stop here. I need to have at least one more fight and have a strong comeback, and I will not let this stop me. But still, I was feeling really, really bad, and eventually I went to my hotel, and I was vomiting. Actually, I was vomiting for the next 24 hours. I was vomiting the whole night. Every 20 minutes, I had to go to the restroom to vomit, and also driving back. We were driving back for 10 hours. Every 20 minutes, I had good guys. Thank you guys for helping me out there. But every 20 minutes, we had to stop the car just for me to vomit. So I vomited in 3 different states: Montana, Idaho, Washington, and by Portland, I didn't vomit anymore. I mean, Oregon. But still, I was like a dog marking my territory. So I was really sick, but then back to the hotel, I was lying there, couldn't fall asleep, obviously all the adrenaline and all the emotions, but also the sickness. And I did not know what I will get, what feedback I will get from people on the video. And I just decided, no, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna upload the video, raw footage, no explanations, nothing, and just you guys be the judges. And I thought, and I was worried, the main thing I was sad about, I thought, like, like, again, what example did I set up? I lost, and I was worried that that will just kind of make people upset, and people will be like, yeah, people will feel down because of that. But then I got so many positive comments, so much support, it's just like mind blowing. And I was lying there sick in the bed and couldn't fall asleep, but I was reading the comments and just like I felt like, wow, this is amazing. This is a victory. This is much more. Receiving that positive feedback is much more than just winning officially on the card, and that just pumped me up even more. I realized I already made the decision that I will make a comeback, but then I realized, you know what? I will definitely make a comeback. This is so big, and this has to continue. So yeah, I wanted to thank you all for that support. It really means a lot to me. It keeps me going more than I would just go already on my own. And so yeah, really thank everyone for your faith and support. Just a couple more ideas, thoughts about the split decision and the losing. Again, one more reason why I was not upset about that, and I was expecting to lose, because first of all, as I said, I did not do as good as I was hoping to, but also I did a lot of mistakes on my own agenda. There's a lot of things. Well, first of all, I heard a lot of people say that when you go to the octagon the first time, it's confusing. You don't know what to expect. It's such an out of this world experience. It's so different than anything else like you would have. I had a few jiu-jitsu tournaments, but I never went into a full contact sport, like full contact fighting sport. So I had ideas of what I would get, but there were a lot of things which were like, oh, this is different, this is different, this is different. No, I did not see that coming. So I got so much information that I want to work on and and capitalize on as I train for the next fight. But also, as I said, I miscalculated a lot of things. First of all, one of the main mistakes that I consider that I've done is I was rushing things. I wanted to win quickly. I thought I can win. The real reason behind it is because back in the training camp with the other Wings to Warriors, I was way beyond them, and you know, it's just what it was. Everybody was saying that. Everybody could see that. I was winning in the grappling against them. I was winning against them in the sparring. So I thought, well, they're Wimp to Warrior guys, and he's Wimp to Warrior guys. Obviously, I should have a huge advantage. And I thought maybe I can win, fast and quick. And that was obviously a mistake. I should have played the long game. I have the long reach. I should have kept my distance. And also whenever he tagged me, I would feel like, you're gonna pay for that back. You tag me once, I'm gonna tag you twice. So I stayed in the pocket for far too long. That's not my strong game, but I was just like, I'm gonna hit you back. I was so much into it, and that was a mistake. I should have kept my cool more. I should have kept my distance more. I was not moving my head. That's a huge mistake that I consider. I was not concerned about slipping the punches, although usually I do. And again, huge mistake in my book. I was not using footwork as much as I could. It's just the punches were, he got a few good punches. They definitely hurt, but it wasn't that bad that I would be like, oh, I have to avoid the punches by all means just for damage. And that was a mistake. I should have avoided them anyway. Or the kicks as well. The kicks had zero impact. It was just like, it's nothing. So I did not even bother to lift up my leg. And obviously that cost me points. But I should have been more defensive. I should have kept my distance more. And again, that's a mistake. So yeah, a bunch of mistakes that I did where I feel I should come back in a different way. I should come back smarter and even more stronger. And I value those mistakes. I feel like, wow, I gained so much from fighting this. And next time I will know so much more what I should actually prepare for and how it goes down and what I can actually do. But just having learned those lessons and having done those mistakes, I feel like, I did so many mistakes that I deserve to lose. So I'm not upset about that again. But at the same time, as I think a lot of people credited this to Coach John Kavanagh, saying that you either win or you learn. And I feel I learned a lot. So it's another win. So obviously a lot of you are interested in what's going to happen next, and I have some ideas, some plans. I will make a separate video about specific details of what I'm going to do, but just to give you a rough layout, I'm still in the States right now. I'm in San Francisco. That's why it's pretty warm. I can go with no sleeves. It's also sometimes cold. Anyway, but I'm in San Francisco. This is the last stop before I go to England. In England, I'm going to back to Europe. I'm going to England initially. I'm going to spend some time there. There's going to be a seminar on the 28th, 29th, I believe, of April, where I will be teaching an Aikido section on something which makes sense, on safe falling and safe standing up, like a bunch of rolls, kind of body awareness. One of the few things which I feel like in Aikido is really worth investing the time. Also, there's going to be a lot of other instructors. There's going to be wrestling and weapon sparring. So it's going to be an awesome seminar if you're there. Check beyondthebounds.co.uk. All the information is there. Join me, see me there. It's going to be an awesome seminar. But right after that, I'll stay a little bit more in England. I'm intending to visit SG Ireland, where Coach John Kavanagh trains. He's famous for training Conor McGregor, obviously, as most of you know, but he's just one of the best coaches in the world. I'm planning to spend a week there, which is awesome. Just do some more training. But after that, eventually I'm going to Lithuania to see my wife and to see my huskies, my dogs. I miss them all. I miss all three of them a lot. And I need to reconnect with my wife and just have a little bit of a chill time. But I'm planning to train hardcore. I want to continue my training. I won't have a lot of strong coaches around me. There's a jiu-jitsu gym that I used to train in. I'll probably go there, do some rolls, maybe do some sparring. But some of my intentions is to just train a lot, like cardio, footwork, speed, power. So something I can train on my own, so that by the time I will come back to Portland, which is the idea, is that in a few months, I'm planning to go back to Portland for a few months again, and again, do a fight camp and do a fight and do a comeback. So that's the rough layout of my plans, but again, I'll make a separate video detailing what my intentions are, so you guys could look over my ideas of my training plan and give me some feedback. You know, maybe give some tips or what I should do, what I shouldn't do. I always really value your quality feedback. But yeah, the general layout of my next plans are that. Another fight for sure, and I will not be surprised if I will continue to do more, but obviously I want to take it one step at a time. I'll do the second fight first, and if I do well enough, most likely I will do more. Now, the very last interesting story, just for the end of the video, back to Montana where I had my fight. There was a very interesting experience that it was a local event. It was a huge event, really well done, very professional, and a lot of people. And my opponent came in first, and he got the claps, he got a lot of support, and then I started coming in, and it was just like 10 or 20% of the crowd was only supporting me. Everyone else was just quiet or booing, and I was like, I did not see that coming. I felt like I was in a Rocky movie, like Rocky versus Russia, versus Drago going to Russia, and I'm just like I'm the enemy of that area, and that was a surprise. It did not get into my head. I kept my cool. I kept focused on the fight, but I was just like, whoa, it's like, dudes, people, like where's your welcomeness? I came here to fight. I didn't come here for any other reason, and but the sport was just like so minimal. But at the end of the fight, a lot of people consider that to be the best fight of the night. I do feel it was a good fight, a lot of coming back and forth. But then by the end of the fight, everyone was so happy and impressed by the fight itself that as my brother and my coach was carrying me back, everyone was just like clapping and shouting. I think my brother said they were shouting my name, and a lot of people were like, best fight of the night. Some people even came backstage where I was puking and gave me thumbs up, and it was awesome. It was, again, like kind of a rocky experience, and that brings me to this interesting idea that I have. It's been already a while that I consider myself to be a very good loser, because interesting enough, that's how my journey unfolds. I lost my Aikido versus MMA first sparring really badly. I lost my second Aikido versus MMA sparring still pretty badly. I lost the jiu-jitsu competitions that I was in. The last one I got second place, but still, like, I was not the main winner. I lost my first amateur fight, but at the same time, there's just so much support, and people are appreciating the journey as much as I do. And that's what makes me feel like, okay, I'm good at losing. That's my superpower. And who knows, maybe that is a path until winning officially eventually. But at the same time, I'd say it's, what's a win? I think winning is the win. The win is the experience. The win is the journey. And I know this is kind of a loser thing to say as well, but I think it's true. I think honestly, it is true. It's about what impact we have upon other people. It's about what we learn, how much we improve, and it's about how we turn out to be in everyday lives and how we feel about ourselves. And I feel good about my life. I feel good about my path. I feel so happy to see that the positive influence through this channel is growing. It's so much more than scoring, coach, the referee decisions or whatever. And so yeah, I think, but that fight represented that well. That even while there was a loss, official loss, it was a win on a much bigger scale. So that was kind of a funny story and an interesting one. But yeah, just to finish up, I will continue posting videos. While I will be spending time in Lithuania, I'll have much more time to do work on my YouTube channel. I'll come back to doing some video essays, which are very popular on the channel. Some more vlogs, training records, interviews with better and better coaches that I meet. So a lot of interesting stuff. If you're interested to follow the journey and see how I'm building up to my second fight, subscribe, like the video, do the regular, but just you watching the video until the end means a lot to me. Thank you for everything, as always. And yeah, again, I wish you to own your journey, and I'll see you on the virtual mat again soon.